Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all well today. It's Monday and it's also June, so yeah, this year's kind of speeding away like every other year. I think as you get older, a year feels like 6 months, but I don't want to. I think I've said that quite a few times in videos. So I'm glad to say that my muse has returned. Obviously it was a bit hot for her in Crete, so she returned over the weekend, and I did write quite a few at the weekend. I think Saturday I wrote 3, 4. I love it when that happens. I just love it because I just find the writer's block so frustrating. I'm not going to read out any of those poems today. I don't know if you've seen in the community section that I've got a jar of stars up for on a free download on Kindle at the moment. So I thought that I would read a couple, 2 or 3, maybe just 2 from a jar of stars. A jar of stars was published. So A Jar of Stars was published. I know I'm not organised, but give me grace because it is Monday. Okay. A Jar of Stars was published in 2022, so that is 3 years ago. It has 7 chapters, but the thing that I'm wondering at the moment when I'm thinking about it, I know like I've learned a lot of things during this journey, and a lot of things with regards to self-publishing, and I readily admit that the first 2 collections I was just going for the achievement factor, but this collection was meant to be one of my better collections. But I wrote in the blurb, this collection was written as part of my healing journey, and I don't understand why I did that, because like In the Shadow of My Pain, it is a very eclectic mix of poems. There is one chapter which is called Healing, but it is a very eclectic mix. The first chapter is called Light and Dark. The second one is called Love. The third is called Lust. The fourth is called Unsent Letters. The fifth is called The Lost Years. 7 is Hope. No. 5 is called I'm gone already. See, yeah. 6 is called Healing and 7 is called Hope. So why did I say that in the blurb when it's such an eclectic mix? I've no idea. I really have no idea. I probably need to rewrite the blurb and change it a little. I don't know. But that requires, and I'm thinking about other collections, but as my 84-year-old neighbour used to say to me, Maggie, you're trying to walk before you can crawl, so maybe I should not be bringing out another collection this year when I can't get the basics right. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering, it just seems really silly that I said that in the blurb. Anyway, I don't want this video to run on to 20 minutes, half an hour on a Monday morning, because nobody's sharp on a Monday. We don't like Mondays, as the Boomtown Rats said. So I am going to read, I think I'll read 2 from chapter 6, which is called Healing. Yeah, let me see. Okay, I'm going to read, right, so I'm going to read Dirt, and I'm going to read Surrender, and then I will leave it there. Okay? Healing is not pretty, it is ugly and raw. I want to swim to the shore, but I am drowning again. Surrounded by dirt, weighed down with pain. I am sinking back into the darkness. I need time to repair the damage, so eager to emerge from this wreckage of broken dreams, frustrated by my own derision and lack of self-belief. So I go back to sleep, hoping one day I will wake up and be washed clean. So what I'm basically saying there is I'm basically giving myself a hard time because I'm not healing at the speed that I think I should be healing. And 3 years after writing that, I know now that you can't flick a switch and you can't take a rubber and you can't just, erase it from your mind. It will take as long as it takes, but this is obviously what I was doing when I wrote that poem, which was called Dirt. You can't self-flagellate. You have to be very, very gentle with yourself, because above all else, when you're healing, you have to remember that it was not your fault. Nothing you did was wrong. It was not your fault. So you have suffered enough. You have been through enough pain without inflicting more pain on yourself with your own hands. You have to be really, really gentle and treat yourself like you would a lover. That's what you have to do when you're healing. It is. Not that I'm an expert. I'm not an expert on anything. And obviously I'm not an expert. I used to say this back at the beginning of this channel. I used to say, here's, in my very Scottish accent, here's a wee disclaimer. I am not an aficionado, and I'm not an aficionado on poetry, publishing, counselling, healing, anything. I just talk from my own experience. And the only way that you can understand other people is by experiencing the same thing. And if your experience helps someone else, then it's good. It helps you and it helps them as well. And the next one is called Surrender. And this is easier said than done. Surrender, release and let go. There is no point in holding on to anything that causes you pain. Life is too short and the clock does not stop ticking. So why do we sit with carcasses on our plates and keep picking at the rotting flesh and bones of things that passed long ago, in a desperate effort to find an answer or a sliver of hope amongst the gristle? Don't let the ghosts of your past make a feast at your table. Bury them in a hole. Never look back. You're not going that way. Surrender, release, and let go. And I'm just going to leave it there for today. after you come out of it, you do spend a lot of time wondering why, what, if. You do. You spend an awful lot of time doing that, as well as beating yourself up because you're not healing in proper time. Again, there's no point to that. There's no point to sitting there saying why, if, because there is no why, if. There is no why or if when you're being abused and you're in that situation. You could have waited on that person hand and foot 24 hours a day. It would not have changed it. It would not have made them treat you any better, because it's something that is built in, and you can't change someone's DNA and the wiring of their brain if their brain is wired for to be horrible and nasty and cruel. You can't change it. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you on Friday. As I say, Ajarofstars is on a free download at the moment until Thursday, I think it is the 4th. Have a good week. Have a good week. Be gentle with yourselves. Look after yourselves. Be kind to others as well as yourself. And as always, thanks for being here. Your likes, your shares, your comments, and all your views. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, bye for now.